Conor apologized for what he did on Ariel's show.
I didn't see any of it. It was the interview on ESPN.
Yeah, on Ariel. It was on ESPN first.
I can't believe ESPN aired anything Ariel does.
Yeah, it was like I was on.
That's not throwing shade at him. You never see the guy anymore.
It was on Sports Center, and it was on it was like just a split screen interview. But I mean, he's clearly just making the apology tour.
Did anybody watch it?
I watched it.
Wow.
Did it seem sincere, real? I'm all about if it's an apology and it's like real, where he's like, dude, listen, before you guys tell me what he says, if he would have went on like, listen, man, how old is Conor now? 28?
29 or 30.
30 getting up there. But let's say he's 28, 20. If he goes, listen, man, I'm 28. I have $200 million in the bank. No one prepares you for this. He's 31. Jesus Christ. All right. My reasonings aren't going to work here. Either way, if he goes, listen, I made a ton of mistakes. I never thought I'd get this famous and have this much money. I don't know. That's not going to work here. I have no idea what to tell you. He's been doing it too long. I got nothing. I'm speechless first time in my life when it comes to Conor McGregor. I don't know. So he put, I was in the wrong. The man deserved to enjoy his time in the pub without having it end that way, and it did. I tried to make amends back then. But it doesn't matter. I was in the wrong. I must come here before you and take accountability and take responsibility. Out to the people that have been supporting me, out to my mother, my family, out to the people who trained me. That's not who I am. That's not the reason why I get into martial arts. Okay. The reason I got into it was defend. Okay.
So, I don't know. In this, one of my buddies sent me the interview. He was like, he's a hardcore MMA fan. He was saying like after he saw the interview, it actually changed his mind. That he believed him again. So I watched it, and he was really convincing, to be honest, because he was talking about stuff like his legacy, his kids, all that stuff.
That's my thing with Conor. It's like, especially when you have kids, man. I think about this like
he knows this is a crossroads where he can go down that terrible road that a lot of athletes go, professional athletes that make a lot of money,
man.
Or he can make it like a big difference.
Yeah, like you don't want to be the guy like, Conor's, in the history books and what he's done for the sports and even his loss to Floyd Mayweather. That you're talking about something that's never been done before, and that, that's the biggest sporting event in history, and you're part of that. And then you have this kid, and you have another newborn, and he's gonna grow up, and you don't want people like, dude, remember your dad made all that money and started punching old dudes in the bar, man? Like, what are you doing? I'd have to watch it. Now, listen, here's my other thing is, I'm not ready to set the guy on fire because he's made a few mistakes at 30 years old and he has $200 million in the bank and he's running amok, and who knows what other enhanced drugs or alcohol that he's on. I can't relate to it because I would never do that with or without drugs, and it's frustrating, especially be a Conor fan. So he put, I have this opportunity before me. If I don't execute this and get this right, make this happen for the children of my children's children, all my success, all everything I have achieved will be void. Yeah, will be missing to me. There you go. I must get this right and must not go down that path, the written path, the cliche of all the fighter that has it all and ruins it. He's right, man. And to add to this, I also think this is a step in the right direction, which is good to see if you're a Conor McGregor fan, because at least he's acknowledging that, dude, I'm fucking up. I'm going down a weird road, and we've seen this happen before. Mike Tyson, these other guys, like I realize what's going on here. That's good.
Yeah,
it's a step in the right direction. Did he talk about fights?
Yeah,
fighting?
He called out a lot of people. He talked about the Khabib. See, part of me the things like he was talking about the Khabib fight, but he still talked about as if like he kind of diminished what Khabib was doing. He kind of just like Khabib ran.
Messed up his foot.
Yeah, like
his foot.
It seemed like he was kind of making excuses.
That's tough.
But he called out a ton of people. He was like, want to fight Khabib, Nate Poirier, Masvidal, even threw in Frankie Edgar in there.
He just wants to get back in. He doesn't even have to have a big fight. He just says he wants to get back in. I know. That's why I was saying, like, stop talking about it and do it.
Get in. Quit making the news for hitting old dudes and doing all this shenanigans and talking shit to guys' kids on Instagram. Fight, bro. That's how we know you. That's the proper whiskey. Great. That sets your family, your kids' family. That's fine. But if you want to get the narrative back on your side, fight, Conor. That's what we want to see, dude. Or don't, and then just keep fucking slanging whiskey, but don't be an asshole.
Do you want to see just a snippet of it?
Sure.
So you can see his body language and everything?
TMZ posted a video of an incident that occurred back in April of this past year where you appeared to get into an
You're looking
altercation
kinda
with another
swole.
man at a bar.
He's a big
in
dude, I
Ireland.
heard.
Could you tell us your
Here's not a
side
big
of
dude.
Well,
that
actually, you've
story?
seen
What
him, so-
happened there?
I mean, in reality, it doesn't matter what happened there. I was in the wrong. That man deserved to enjoy his time in the pub without having it to end the way it did. And although 5 months ago it was, and I tried to make amends, and I made amends back then, it's still, the fans don't even, that does not even matter. I was in the wrong. I must come here before you and take accountability and take
Pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Like the one thing about Conor is that he's obviously an entertainer, but it's from the heart. It really is. You can tell when guys are coasting in or just bullshitting. That if you're a Conor fan, which I am, this is kind of light at the end of the tunnel, man. But the actions speak louder than words. But this is at least a step in the right direction.
I didn't think I would be convinced, but I'm more up in the air now.
Here's the other thing. I want to be convinced.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Conor McGregor. I think he's great for the sport. I think the sport's better when he's in it. I don't like the bus incident. Everyone crying about that. I didn't give a fuck about. I think that was press for the fight. That sold one of the biggest fights of all time. That made the fight even more intense. Everyone, I got glass my eyes. Shut the fuck up. But I thought that was whatever. But when you're doing it when you don't have a fight coming up, you're hitting old dudes in the bar and just running amok. All right.
Does it matter that the dude it turns out he was like 50 years old? So he wasn't super old. He just had a crazy amount of white hair.
Dude, that's old. You're sucker punching a 50-year-old?
But I thought it was going to be like a 7-year-old or something when I saw
Dude,
it.
doesn't matter.
No, still, the dude's just like
It
innocent
would
bystander.
It would be better if it was like a 22, like Jack, dude, I guess. But even then, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Dude, my dad's 50. You punch my dad? What are you doing? Because you don't want your whiskey? I love whiskey. I'm a whiskey drinker. I don't mind proper. It's not the best whiskey in the world, but for what it is, it's good for the price. It's no Buffalo Trace. It's no Blanton's. It's no Gentleman Jacks. God, again, I'm kind of, all right, this worked for me. I'm back on the Conor train. That's all I needed, bro. Conor train. Choo-choo. Let's do it, bro. What else you got?
All right.